Somebody think of the
Arise,
children.
minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming, where Cora was just singing a song about murdering children. That being said, we are here for another episode of Thrall, where I think we have to murder this kid. Before we jump into things, guys, if you like what we do here and all the shenanigans we have, check out our Patreon or subscribe to the channel here on on Twitch. That's the best way to support the channel. And if you want to talk about these games we play, check out our Discord. Links for all that stuff down below. And last but not least, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, Daryl gets to do whatever the hell he wants to, but more importantly, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, beautiful, amazing faces you see here before you. That being said, Daryl, take us into the world of Thrall.
Hello. Well, first things first, again, I am going to thank everybody for being here. Thank you for watching, if you're out there in the Twitchverse, and thank you for letting me share some of these twisted stories with you. But what we will do, we will pick up where you guys left off. Your day started with an unusual request. You met with Oliver Laclede in the Boar's Tusk after dinner to discuss potential employment. He revealed that he wanted you to help him start a revolution when you thought you were just going to be, potentially protecting some caravans or things like that. He wants to rally the people in the area and other small towns around the region to revolt against Landslide's empire and to try to break away. But first, you have to build a confidence. Before you could even make a decision, the night kind of broke into chaos as Liam, one of the few competent and loyal soldiers in town, returned from his mission to Bishonia. He was injured. None of the people that went with him, the other soldiers, or his wagon made it back. He was only brought back, fortunately, by a loyal horse who knew the way. He would have probably died if it hadn't been for the mysterious blind beggar, Brodeur, who showed up and healed him. While you're trying to unwrap all that was going on, the next thing that happened was Father, the blood priest, came into town to threaten it, to tell everyone that if they didn't find a child named Johnny, they were all going to suffer. So the mystery continues to get deeper. Who's Brodeur? Who's the child? What's all this about? And why can't this night just end in a regular fashion? So being pulled between two potential missions of trying to find the wagon that Liam lost in the woods, or finding the boy to try to protect the town from just getting brutalized by these blood thralls, you eventually land on the decision of getting some horses and trying to do both. You get horses, Laclede offers to pay for them, and a cart so that you can rush out into the woods toward the quarry where Liam last reported that he believes the wagon might be. On your way, you happen to hear a child crying in the woods, and lo and behold, it is Johnny, the flame-haired boy who apparently has the ability to speak to fire. One of the merc patrolmen that was around the area were pursuing him, and he burned him to a crisp. That's where you found him, and that's where you are currently. Your night, or your day that had started in such a weird fashion, now at midnight, continues. And I turned it over to you.
I just want to say, listening to the recap, it's like the guy Laclede is like, let's start a revolution, and we all went, all right. Like, hearing it back is like, yeah, okay, that sounds fair.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
we were doing
Tuesday.
it anyway, so like, the fact that you want to do it and pay us for it, bonus.
Awesome. So, like I said, you're there with the boy. You're about 2 hours from town. You're on the edge of the forest. You haven't quite reached the point where the road would, well, it's not a real road at this point. It's just the mining trail. We haven't reached the point where it would actually go into the quarry and then turn north where you're headed.
I think I'm still guarding the horses because I'm terrifying. So
right, you might be.
No idea what's happening.
Don't forget what you heard in your head also about midnight.
I didn't forget that at all.
Good. Do you need reminded?
I mean, I think the audience needs reminding, if anything.
Yes,
definitely
they do.
not me, because I would never forget Something like
only you heard this, just in case I implied otherwise. The fire speaker will herald my return.
Right. Of course, that's what he said in my head, audience.
You're not going to take me back, are you? Please don't. I will. I can find my way in the woods. I don't know what. I'll manage, though. Please don't take me back. I just need food and not to be killed. Anybody?
Luca is literally going to look around at. I think that am I just with Sama? So, like, who is with me right now speaking with
I think it's just, I think it was us.
I think it was just you and I. Yeah. I know that Rook's back with the horses. Where is Gold?
Gold and the bird.
He's standing, on top of the bird, getting a look. If you guys are, but, I mean, what's he going to do? He's a gnome. We can talk some.
Oh, is this what it was like with me?
I'm not offering him any of my clothes.
You are.
What happened?
You are choppy.
Yeah, your bird is speaking for you as a robot.
Yeah. No. Is it still bad?
No, you're good now.
Your audio's okay. Your video's.
Oh, I'm good now. Oh no. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm not offering this kid any of my clothes. So,
right.
I mean, I'm assuming that me and him wear the same size. Gold shops at Baby Gap.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you assuming the child is also naked?
No, I'm assuming that if we're going to take care of this child. Yeah, or if he's muddy or something, he doesn't want that idea to be
okay.
Like, hey, you know what? Give him some of your clothes. You know,
I feel like you just yelled out, "I'm not giving him my clothes."
You can't have any of my stuff.
That's amazing.
Well, no. Well, everyone back in the town is actually looking for you right now. So we can protect you on the way back, but they want to see you to make sure that you're okay.
I don't think I can go back. Those monsters will be there, won't they? I'll put it up. I'm sure that it'll put Arthur in danger.
What monsters? And out of character, do we know who Arthur is?
Yeah, I mean, it's they called him Vornholt by his last name, I think, but we'll say that Laclede had said Arthur at some point, so you realize who he's talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
The person who owns the estate where Johnny was staying, the pseudo father figure. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. We can take you back into the town and keep you hidden. We can have you stay somewhere so that you're not staying with Arthur, and you don't have to worry about putting him in any danger. But
if we're trying to keep him hidden, moving him back into town isn't a great idea.
Well, what would you suggest we do then?
Well, if we're going to do this right, can we make some sort of encampment out? Well, first off, we've got a job to do, so take him with us.
Exactly. That's more what I was thinking, is the fact that we have to take the wagon bits and bring that back to town. So I figured 2 birds, 1 stone.
I think definitely bring back the wagon bits, but I think we maybe make some sort of encampment outside town and conceal him there, so that way he isn't in town in case they decide to get nosy.
Right. That sounds like a good plan to me. Do we want to... Well, how does that sound to you? And Luca just kind of looks at Johnny.
Where you want to take me somewhere else? I don't understand.
We want to take you back towards the town, but we want to keep you outside the town so that if the people that were looking for you come back to try and find you in town, they're not going to be able to find you there. You'll stay with us outside of the town.
He found me, and he points to the corpse.
Oh,
That's why we're going to move you.
exactly, because smoldering corpse usually sends up pretty big flares to people that may have also been out in the area, so we should probably not stay here for very long.
Fire ain't exactly subtle at night.
I don't want to do that again. It hurts a lot. I guess I'll go with you, but I don't want to do that again, even to you.
Sounds good. I would also prefer not to be lit on fire, so if you just want to keep a lid on that, we will take you back once we get some stuff and then hide you in a place that isn't full of a smoldering corpse on fire. How about that?
And if
All right, well,
if you'd be comfortable with it, I would like to talk to you a little bit more about this once we've gotten settled for the night. Obviously not right now. I know that you've been through a lot.
yeah, yes, can we? I'm so tired. I've never felt like this after.
Well, we've got a wagon where you can sleep. How about that?
Okay, I'll
You
try.
can rest. It'll be fine.
Cool. Does this seem like it's taking a long time for you? Usually when I kill a blood troll, it's just pretty quick. And this one's a child, so it should be really easy. I don't know what they're doing for so long. It's been like 3 whole minutes.
I think they're making friends with it.
That makes it harder to kill in the end if you name them.
Yes, I know.
It's like a cow on the farm. If you put a name to it, it makes it harder to eat.
Yeah, if we feed them, they'll never go away.
That's true. It's like cats.
I love the idea of Brooke on a farm. That's horrifying.
Like staring at cows, like being like, that one looks tasty.
Just imagine
That
like
one
a
looks
village
tasty.
of people like Rook just doing casual farm work. It's the most terrifying farm ever. Haunted hayride,
Yeah.
move aside.
Nothing goes over my head. I am too fast. I will catch it.
Yeah.
All right, so
So anyway, you guys are still in charge. Go. What's happening next?
so we're corralling Johnny back to with us to go
Yes.
and find the wagon.
Yep.
And once we get the wagon, we will put him on the wagon and take him back and veer off eventually to go set up an encampment while someone else takes the parts back to town.
Yep.
Pretty much.
All right,
Oh.
come with us. And
Okay.
Luca just kind of goes over and like puts a hand like on his back kind of gently and like starts to slowly guide him to walk. And we'll take special like care to like notice, like read body language and make sure that like he's okay with being touched because he's kind of been through a traumatic experience right now. And Luca doesn't want to startle him or cause him to be upset.
Yeah, no, that's good. He doesn't like flinch or overreact to it. I mean, you might even assume that at one point he was a pretty well-adjusted kid. But you do notice that he feels hot, like hot enough to cook an egg. So his clothes are just barely not on fire, right? Yeah. So you're guiding him back. Rook and Goal, you see Cora and John. I'm sorry, wrong characters. You see the names, Luca and Sama coming back
I love
to
the way that implies that John is the wrong character and it's just not like the person doesn't exist. That's great. Love that.
There, that's
Yeah, I'm happy to do
John's a
that.
character.
Sorry. People, you see them coming back. You and you.
Did you chicken out?
No.
So
Is that coming with us?
did you bring it here so I could kill it, or what is the plan?
No,
here?
no, Rook. We're not. Shh, mate. Shh. No. No. And yes, Rook is coming with us. Rook will help with protecting. You don't
He
need
says
to
he
worry.
wants to kill me.
Yeah, no, I said that.
Rook wants to do that with everyone. When I first met Rook wanted to kill me too. So it's
I mean,
it's
she's
just the way Rook. It's
she's
just
not
the way Rook
entirely
is.
wrong, but What is it doing here?
We are look, ice.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to take him with us and go back when we get the wagon and the parts from that we need. And then we are going to go off and camp somewhere outside of town.
Public execution.
No, we are going to take him away from the town and keep an eye on him in case those people come back so that he is not in town and does not endanger the townspeople or endanger himself by being there.
Did you miss the part where they said that if he is alive and is not brought back, then the bad people, whom I want to kill very much, will kill the whole town?
Well, at least if we bring him back towards the town and keep him on the outside the town, we will be able to manipulate that situation possibly more to our favor than if we just kill him now or just let him go.
We could perhaps train the villagers.
Train them to do what?
Sorry,
Run and hide like villagers?
Well, yes, if they get in the way of the bad guys, they won't be in the way of us.
That's a good point. We should teach them how to run away.
Yeah, attrition. Oh, right. Run away. Okay, yeah.
What were you thinking?
Same thing.
Oh. Operation Shield Wall. I get it. That's a plan B, I think. But you said that we keep the child alive in the woods. And then how does that stop the father from, and what's her name? The one I don't like. How does that stop them from killing the whole town?
And Luca is just going to kind of lean her head back a little bit and go, Dama, do you want to take over explaining? Because I'm not as good with words as you are, and I find myself unable to explain in a way that they are going to understand what our plan is.
Sam has done about, I think, 2 things this entire conversation. The first one is, sort of kneel down, crouch down next to Johnny, pat him on the head and go, it's a bit of a dysfunctional family, sure. And then gets back on a horse and, waits. And when Lucas in there goes, well, I personally would like to get some cannons to assist in the murdering and the killing, but if y'all want to sit around here arguing about this thing we're going to do, we can do that later. Unless you're saying, Rook, that you are incapable of killing a small child at any given point the next several hours, in which case I don't think it's
kill a child at any time.
Right, so let's not talk about it now. Let's go get a cannon.
Yeah, we need to not, but we should probably not talk about it at all.
Well, I don't have time to explain it to you, and the time it takes to explain, the sun is going to come up.
Fine. And he grabs the kid by the back of his shirt and just lifts him into the cart. And
I just be quiet. We're hiding in the woods. Did you miss the part where Lucas said we're hiding? Sit down, I'll kill you later.
And he pushes him into the cart.
You notice how hot he feels? And there's this, when you push him, his eyes lock on your hand, and he notices that just the palm is the same size as his whole skull.
He leans in and goes,
it can crush a head.
And Sama from the horse kind of leans over and goes, don't worry, he's very cuddly, and then just takes off in the direction of where the woods were.
I don't know what that word means.
Cuddly is not English. All right, so you guys follow the quarry trail a little bit further. It only takes another 15 or 20 minutes before you see a faint light up in the distance where the woods are starting to clear. They're less close together, that kind of thing. As you keep moving, you realize it is the entrance to the quarry. So this is where the road actually goes. There's a lantern and a guard posted, kind of leaning against a stump outside kind of this area that's dug into the edge of the kind of the foothills of the mountains. If you're on roll 20, I'll ping it. I mean, it's basically right here. Bing.
Okay.
So you see that guy there. He's just a human. There is a trail, though, that goes north from there. It's not meant to be a real functioning road, but it is what you believe Liam was talking about. Also, Johnny does fall asleep really quick. He's clearly exhausted in a physical way that supersedes his fear and worry about what's going on. So, any thing you want to let me know before I narrate a little further?
Yeah, I think if we've gotten to a point where we can like see that there's like a guard there, I'm gonna like signal everyone to stop, hop off the horse, and like take up position in the woods.
Okay, so just to make sure I explained it clear, so you still need to go further north on the trail before you would get to the part where where Liam believes the cart is. This guard is just at the quarry itself, where the technical road actually ends.
Okay. Is this like a Laclede guard, or is this just like a...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a Laclede, and it's like a local. So the quarry is functioning for several small towns around here, where the mine is just Laclede's.
Sure.
Details
it's
that don't matter.
It's not like a blood thrall guard, right?
Gotcha.
No.
Okay. Never mind. That makes sense. In that case, gonna keep going. That's cool. Gonna keep going, but eyes open, ears open.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. So you head north. The trail is going to slow you down a little bit. It's not really, like I said, designed for horses and wagons, but you do keep moving. And it's getting to be kind of the wee hours of the morning. If you guys do stay up all night, I'm going to give you a level of exhaustion for tomorrow, but I thought I'd let you know that. But as you start to wonder if you should start seeing a little bit of light, but since it's coming up in the east and you're at the western wall of Ridge of Mountains, you're not seeing that light. You can tell just above that edge of landscape, there's just a little bit of light peeking through. And give me some perception rolls. And yes, you can roll for your bird.
It's dark and I cannot see.
It's very dark.
It's fair. That's fair.
Yep. Nice.
Woo! Suck my dick. Sorry.
Wow.
Not you, just in general.
Wow.
Nice.
It's a good roll. What?
It's great. Yeah. All right. So you guys are going along, and just before anybody else can see it, you see way up in the trail a little swatch of red sticking out from some trees. So if you can imagine this rocky face on your western side, and then trees on your eastern side, right? And you're just kind of rolling down between them, bumping over rocks and sticks and rough ground. But poking out of the trees, just barely within eyesight, you see this swatch of red that doesn't belong there.
From a distance, do I recognize what it is or what it looks vaguely like?
It looks vaguely like a tail, but it must be big. Because it's way far away. Yeah, that.
Is there anyone in front of my group that is in front of me that I should let know? Like,
it seems like Santa's kind of in charge of making the horses go.
I don't know if I would. Are you the only one that has a horse?
I think we all have horses.
Okay.
Like there's,
I have a bird.
Right.
Yeah. Gold's got a bird. You and I have horses, and Rook is on a cart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being pulled by the horses.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. All right. So I'm riding up next to you then, I would assume.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right. I don't. We might want to slow up. Just up ahead, there is. I don't know if you can see it, but there is something that is red, and it does not look like it's meant. It seems very out of place, and I'm worried what it might be. And if we keep moving forward, well, we can keep moving forward, but we should do so knowing very well that could be something that's going to jump out and possibly have a negative effect.
Fair enough. And can I? So now that Lucas pointed out, can I see it?
You see it.
Okay.
Yep. Just then it disappears
Just
into
then
the
it
woods.
disappears? Okay.
Not like Fanchons, but poof.
Do I recognize what that is at all?
Give me a nature roll.
Sure. Whoa. The hell is nature? There it is. Nope, not a fucking clue.
All right. It is a creature, maybe.
Cool.
It's not one you've seen.
Okay. Well, if it's moved off the path at this point, I think maybe move a little, keep going a little slower. But we should probably, are we near where we are supposed to be picking up this wagon? Or?
You think you are, yeah.
Okay, we're supposedly close. Well, in that case, maybe stop here and sort of scout ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that seems reasonable.
All right, so describe that to me.
So basically just going to halt the horses, halt the cart. We're on so there's woods on one side of the road or on both sides?
Woods on the east side, kind of a rocky, not quite a cliff, but a steep incline on the west or east side. So
pull the cart over to the
west.
east. Pull the cart over to the east.
To the tree
Forest.
side is on your
Forest.
left.
Okay, pull to
There we go.
left. Stop, hop into the tree line, and
Trees.
try to see what I can see from in the woods.
Are you stealthing or?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Cool. Let's have some roll for that.
Let's see if the dice agree with me.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Yes.
Luca is
that's
gonna
what we
kind
like.
of
That's what we like.
signal to go as well to just hold up.
Whatever that. All right. So Sami, you hop down and disappear into the woods. Everybody's amazed because that was a crazy roll. And a very good roll.
Rose.
Yeah, they do what they're supposed to. You move forward, moving between trees and whatnot. You make it about 50 yards ahead, and you get close enough where you feel like you would confidently see this thing if it was still there.
Mm-hmm.
And you do see a wagon. The wagon has fresh blood on it. Yeah.
Fresh blood.
Fresh blood. If you get close enough to examine it, I can tell you a little more.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to circle around to where I would have seen where we would have seen that sort of flash of red, and see if I can track whatever is moving around and where it's potentially figure out where it's gone. I think.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you could do that. I guess. Give me a survival roll for tracking.
Ready? 14.
Yeah, that's still good enough. You see just a vague impression of some large footprints. They look almost wolf-like, coming from the mountainside.
Okay.
And then you see a very clear trail of blood leading from the wagon off into the woods toward the right, which is to the left, to the west. There we go. Left, right,
Deeper
west,
into
up,
the
down.
woods. Yeah.
Yeah, deeper
Okay.
into the woods.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, does it only look like there's one set of tracks, not like 2 or 3 or?
As best you can tell, there's one.
Best I can tell, there's one. Okay. So someone's going to.
And now you hear growling.
Nice. From where?
From the wood side, yeah. You don't see anything.
Cool. So someone's going to back slowly in the direction of where the path is.
Okay.
And if is not spotted and or mauled in the time it takes him to get there, we'll sort of gesture everyone to hop off their horses and move up.
Okay. All right. So you back away. You're back into the path now. You're out of the dense part of the woods.
Yeah, or sort of
And-
right on the border of it, so we can still continue to hide, at least visually.
But still be visible to your friends.
So if he wants to be visible to his friends, but not visible to anything that's further in the woods, if that makes sense.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
So low down on the path, but behind a bush or a tree or something.
Okay. So about 60 yards up ahead, you guys see Sama kind of just poke out from the brush and the woods and wave to you guys, or whatever he describes.
Yeah.
Luca is going to hop down off of her horse and start to head in that direction, kind of crouching low to the ground and doing that like 1 foot in front of the other soft step, like kind of almost like sidestepping, like the SWAT crouch.
Yep.
As she heads in. And is
right.
and is just is gonna basically like be moving from like tree to tree along the path, just like go behind the tree, peek. If everything seems clear, continue until she is closer to Sama.
All right, so you're moving that direction. Is a Gull or Rook or a bird doing any of those things as well?
Gull is going to hop off Cassie, and he's going to look at her and go, shh, and point like down the way to tell her to kind of go hide in another section 10 feet away from us, like kind of that way if I call her in, she's coming in from a different angle, not from the same angle we came in at.
Okay.
Tactical pincering move.
Follow it.
I'm the bird
Pincer
king.
bird.
Rook hops out of the cart with a creak and then looks at everyone crouching and crawling into the woods. And he just kind of like cocks a head like a dog and then shakes his head and then just proceeds to walk straight down the path.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So that's what you guys are doing for the next 2 rounds because, like I said, you're like 60 yards away. But Sama is going to roll initiative.
Hey, awesome.
Oh no! Oh no!
There we go. Just as you turn your head back around to face the woods after signaling to your friends,
Fuck
you see
that
out
wolf. Fuck that.
Nice. You see coming like a head kind of appear out from behind a clump of leaves up in a thick, high branch of a tree.
Gotcha.
This creature with bright red fur with kind of white streaks in it. It has a vague similarity to a wolf, but the fur on the sides is just really long and flowing. But you can kind of see almost beneath some of these clumps of fur scales. Of course, it's got crazy long teeth and nice dark yellow eyes. And it leaps at you. Yeah.
Cool. So let's play some Monster Hunter. I've got my light bow gun. Let's go.
Yeah.
You are Matt Mercer. Let's go.
Yeah. So, Jesus.
He's not here. He can't help you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
If you think too long, I'm going to take your initiative away.
No, I'm debating how fast I want to yeet. So what I'm going to do is, wait, actually, question. Did it land within 5 feet of me there?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, cool. So
yeah, I mean, it's leaping. It's like 12 feet long from nose to tail.
Okay, cool. So this big boy. So I am going to. Okay, so what I'm going to do is when it lands, presuming that like we're starting the combat as it lands, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to burn my reaction to move half my speed away. Doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. Then it's my turn, and I'm going to dash the full, 70 out. So
okay.
I am 85 feet down the fucking path.
All right. Okay. So yeah, it lands, and you just step out of its way. It snarls, thinking it's about ready to tear your throat out, and then you're just like, boom.
And then I'm going to...
Everybody else now sees this bright red creature moving through the leaves and trees and brush and out into the path.
I imagine there's an awkward scene where Sam is running down the path and,
oh, we're just coming to find you. Oh, there you go.
And yeah, there's an awkward scene. So someone makes it to the cart, gets another 10 feet back. Then because that's rogue nonsense, that was my bonus action. So I'm gonna turn around and fucking shoot it. So let's do this thing. Boom. Maybe not, but that's okay. I'm gonna try to shoot anyways.
All right. Yeah, that 11's not going to be good enough. You turn as you're running, and it's kind of galloping, keeping up with you, even with your 85 feet.
That seems fair.
But yeah, you don't hit it. It is not going to be able to catch you this time. I mean, you had a good head start, so it doesn't get to attack, and it doesn't have a distance weapon. So You get one more round, and then
Fuck it.
everybody will be together.
Okay, so I'm like fully back behind everybody else at this point, I assume.
Well, I mean, you were like I said, 60 yards.
Oh, 60 yards. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's bigger than.
All right, so we'll do that again. We'll dash 70 back.
Okay.
And fire another shot.
Sounds good.
15 this time.
15. Nice. Okay, so you hit it. Hit it right in the shoulder. The bullet flies. It's not used to dodging something like that, so it doesn't even think to move. It just takes it like right in the shoulder. You see the fur and blood kind of tear off of it. So let's get some damage.
Let's see what we got here. 8 piercing. That's
nice.
That's not the worst.
Yeah. So it takes the hit. It actually nosedives into the ground and then stops and stands up. Kind of howls.
Sounds good. And then
anybody else want to roll initiative now?
Oh boy.
Pow! Nailed it.
It seems like you would do that on purpose.
Hot
Right.
diggity shit.
All right.
that is exactly what I expected, honestly.
Yeah, the second one is for the bird.
Okay. So you're first then. He's in within the ability to be in range for anything you want. If you wanted to stay back, you can do that. If you want to get up and melee, you can.
Yeah. Your boy's got a light crossbow, and he's gonna see old Emma over there taking pot shots. I'm not 100% sure. Again, I can see this thing, right? Full on.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you've all kind of
he
ended up in
has
sort of a
presented.
bit of a circle here.
Okay. Yeah. So Goal's gonna pull out of his pouch his pouch, one of his mini pouches, like crossbow, and he's gonna chunk and miss.
And miss for sure, yeah. Flies over its back, and it doesn't even know you're there at this moment. It's still focused on Santa.
Cool.
It is next. I'm going to say it's faster than everybody, so it has caught up with you, Sama. It's going to leap forward for a biting attack.
Cool.
14. Does that hit?
AC 15. God bless.
Oh, so close. Leaps at you, snarling, drooling. You actually close enough now to see the blood all over its face. That's from whatever it was eating, or whoever, I should say. But it bites by your head, and you whatever avoid it.
And then
16, I think is.
I also use my burn reaction once it does that to once I've dodged, get like another 17 feet or 15 feet backwards.
Okay.
Skirmisher is a great fucking ability.
Right. Right. So I think that's the bird now. Cassie.
Oh yeah. Am I still muted? No, I'm not.
No.
Yeah, Goal is gonna and do his little funky whistles and make a couple, hand signs, and she's gonna come in with that.
What's a power rend?
It's probably not gonna. It is whatever this move was that I copied and pasted over into my thing. I'm pretty sure it's just a melee attack, really. See what happens when I roll damage. Well, it doesn't even tell me what kind of damage it does. So
yeah, well, that one's not going to hit anyway. So the bird kind of runs up at it, and it's now notices the bird, but it misses. That puts us at Luca.
We're in trouble.
Luca is going to step out from where she is hiding and is presumably behind it at this point. Like it's got
Yeah, that's totally viable. Mm-hmm.
So she's going to kind of step out from her hiding place and is going to take her rope dart and kind of throw it with the intention of trying to like hit it at like somewhere in like the back of the head or neck area and hopefully like get it in and then be able to pull the rope back so that it's then on its with its belly exposed. So
right, gotcha. All right, roll to hit.
Oh God, please. Wait, do I just have to hit the dart thing? in
Well,
Roll20?
yeah, you would click it, but before you do that, let's clarify one thing. We can do this like two ways. We can say it's disadvantage for you to be able to do this like trick shot, or we can have you roll an additional like dexterity check after you hit to try the trick. What would you rather do?
Let's roll the extra dexterity to see if it actually like hits in the way I'm thinking.
Yeah, sounds good.
All
So
right.
roll to hit first.
So I just hit the dart thing, yes?
Yeah, you should be able to just click it and it'll add up all your numbers.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So you fling and it just kind of clatters into the grass next to it. And it, just barely notices. And now Rook.
How far is it away from me?
Well, it can be up to you. You were moving slow. I mean, I'm still picturing you kind of not as far north as Sama and it are, but if you wanted to say you did hustle up there at the end, you can do that. I mean, it's
Damn, how far was Sama? Because he ran like over 100 feet back.
right. It was like 120 feet.
Yeah, it was like 180.
Oh,
so
right.
then
Yeah, 180. I said the wrong thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I got it.
Okay, yeah, I can only move 30 feet, so if it's that far ahead of me, then there's no way I'm getting to it for a couple rounds then.
Well, you can dash.
Yeah, even still.
It's like 60.
Cool. Yeah, I guess he runs. That's what he does. Yeah, if it's that far away, I didn't realize it was that far away. Yeah, he starts trucking.
So as a note, if I did my math right, we were 180 up. I have dashed 140 and then skirmished twice, which means I am about 170 feet back. So I am about where y'all are, give or take, at this point.
Cool.
Yeah. So I think you're close enough is what I'm getting at.
Sure.
He moved a long way, but I'm kind of saying you.
Oh yeah,
can
the
be
dog
positioned where you
charged
want.
forward too, didn't it? Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's been following me.
Gotcha. In that case, yeah,
Right.
Rook will walk up to this thing. He will like a mechanized tank. He just towards this thing, and just reaches behind him, and you see like his wings kind of like unfurl, like and flex as he slides his scythe out. Because I have dope wings, guys. And I'm going to chop this.
Gotta show off the wings, yo.
Yeah, I'm gonna chop this thing to pieces. Is what I'm planning on doing. Real quick here. Yeah, so I'm going to scythe this guy with an 18.
That'll hit.
10 slashing damage. I sort of just bring the scythe one-handed, just sort of down across its back.
All right. Yeah. So you cleave into it. You can actually feel a little bit of like this strange texture of flesh and scale kind of underneath the fur as it gets knocked to the side. It immediately hops up and lets Sama take his turn. Unless you've got another thing to do, Rook.
No, that's it. I'm just here to chop this guy to pieces. He's not worth any kind of bonuses.
Yep.
In that case, it's like now that Sama's like in range of allies at this point, we'll back another like 30 feet up because move action. Get to about where the cart is, and then fire off a shot with his pistol since I have more pistol bullets than I do actual like rifle bullets. So
Okay. So keep track of those for me, please.
That's garbage.
9.
But I am going to then use my bonus action to hide, which I think is a stealth check.
Yes, please.
Okay, way better at that than shooting. Okay.
All right. Poof. Very good. Very good.
Sort of vanishes behind the cart after he takes a shot.
Right. Yes. Good deal. Good deal. So while you're vanished, you kind of can take, I don't know, one of the 6 seconds to glance around. You do see there's like 3 other bodies. 2 of them are non-affiliated soldiers, presumably of Laclede, and one of them is a merc that's been the most recent one to be eaten. Goal, that's you. All of the bodies have been chewed on, by the way.
Oh, neat. Goal is going to load up another arrow But as he does this, he pulls it out of his pouch. On his belt is almost like flint or like a match striking stuff. What is this stuff called? So anyway, he pulls the arrow out, strikes it on his belt, notches it, and boom, fires another one right at this big bad wolf guy.
Big bad wolf.
So it's going to come in as one of those, and it's...
The fire arches over it, which definitely does draw its attention. So it looks back toward where this flaming bolt flies, distracted momentarily, giving it disadvantage on its next action. So who's the closest to it? I guess it's going to be Rook. So it is going to roll to hit, or it doesn't roll. I mean, it's attacking. This is real life, not a game. Oh, right, and it's disadvantage. So the 11 misses, right?
Yeah, it definitely misses. Yeah.
Okay, so distracted, it lunges at you, but it's not in any position to do any real harm. Cassie. Cassie. Yeah, I know who people
are. Let's see. She is going to just attack like you would see a chicken attack, just with its legs.
Nice.
Because it's essentially, that's what it says this is. It's just it's a melee weapon.
You know,
so
how
it's just
chickens attack.
Well, like, have you ever played a Horizon Zero Dawn? Like those, and it's going to come at them like that. So let's see.
So yeah, that is going to hit for 5. So this thing kind of howls again.
Damage.
Yeah. And it's starting to hurt a little bit here. Not sure what to do next. So Luca, is that something you're doing, or were you just clicking while you were looking around?
You are muted.
Jesus. Sorry. Sorry. I was just clicking while I was looking around. So I'm going to say that as it's gone past Luca is running down the road to kind of join up with everyone and grabs her dart, bundles it up and everything like that as she's heading back, and then replaces the dart with the wind and fire wheels to go in for melee shit. I don't know how to input the stats correctly into Roll20, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go.
All right. Well, let's see what you got here.
Help, please.
What are you trying to
do? So you're...
I'm trying to attack with big spiky blade things.
Okay,
yeah, that works. They're working.
Yeah. So it should be +5 to hit, right? Because it's still going to have the same attack.
Oh God.
I don't know how to.
Where's why?
We have rolled.
I opened the wrong one.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh no.
Why won't it let me change it?
That's what I'm wondering. It won't let me do it.
If you go into, I assume you're talking on the sheet, right? Yeah.
Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties.
Cool.
What's the damage dice?
There we go.
1d6.
1d6.
Oh, cool.
You did it. It's you,
it's me,
Mr.
I'm
Mike.
D6ing it. 1d6.
Yes.
You've got it.
Plus
you had the
6.
power within you all along. The power of friendship and knowing how to do shit right.
Yeah, hit that button.
You should be all set. Click the button on your sheet and just roll like a regular attack. Boom. 15.
15.
Woo!
Just barely hits.
Hey. So
you just click on that thing again, and it'll show the damage.
Yeah, if you click on the one in the chat, it will just pop it for you.
Perfect.
Hey,
5.
Woo! So yeah,
Nice.
Luca is pretty much just gonna run up and I would say take them and kind of slash along the side as she kind of basically does it while running past, if that's possible.
Sure. Yeah. So I see this this creature get knocked kind of towards the rocks with Rook's scythe hit, and then almost get pushed a little bit further with the claws of Cassie, and then you run like past it on the other side and slash its kind of into its ribs. It's now turning and it's screeching, drooling in anger, but trying to back away, trying to get into a defensive position as it is Rook's turn.
Ooh, that's me. I'm Rook. Yeah, I'm gonna chop this guy. 16 hits.
That'll hit. Yeah.
11 slashing damage.
All right, you lodge your scythe into its chest parts, and it falls to the ground.
Perfect.
And is just wheezing there on the ground.
Is it
trying to get up, twitching, maybe dead, maybe
dead?
Just in the throes of death.
Is it dying?
It appears to be. I mean, are you gonna?
Well, I mean, if he's
it doesn't happen instantaneously. I'll say that much.
If he golf swings into the thing, he's gonna kind of put a foot on it if it like collapses, and then he looks back to where Sama is like far enough behind him, right? Because you ran behind, right? He goes,
"Oh yeah." So Sam is down further because he's actually with the cart, and everybody else is with the beast.
Rook assumes this is death throes and sort of puts a foot on it. And then, like, two-hand holds his scythe upside down while it's still in the thing, and he looks back to Sama and goes, "Wake the child, he should see this." And he looks like he's about to rip the scythe out.
And Sama just looks at him and goes, "No."
Oh. But it's a message for the future about the magics.
Rook, you don't need to send him a message. You're just going to kill him anyways, so just get it over with before it bites your ankle.
The child or the dog?
That.
And he pulls the scythe back out.
It's dead. It's dead.
When Rook pulls the scythe out, Goal's going to run over there with his walking stick and just start beating on it.
You're doing a great job.
It's dead. It's dead. It is already very dead.
Let him go. Let him
Sama
It is now.
Sama, like, holsters the pistol, slings the rifle over his shoulder, and walks back up the path while, like, keeping an eye on the woods to see if there's any more of these fucking things.
You did great, Goal. If you hit
Goal gets all the XP for that, by the way, for finishing it off.
Cool, perfect, great.
All right. Yeah, so some of you get back
others?
up. Yeah. No, you don't see anything or detect anything. As the thought passes through your mind that obviously some mercs had found this cart, but your wolfy lizardy friend had scared them off or killed them. So you have the cart or the wagon.
Cool.
Two of the wheels are broken to a point of being unusable, but upon closer inspection, which by now everyone else is catching up with you if they chose to, you do see that the two cannon barrels are affixed underneath, and they do look convincingly like very thick axles.
Okay. And so I'm gonna. So the first thing I want to do is, now that I know the axles are mostly secure and they don't seem to be like damaged or ruined or like.
Yeah, I mean,
they seem to be pretty solid. Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely been some wear over the course of the travel, but as far as you can tell, they're functional.
Cool. I'm going to look around in the wagon and see if they sent anything other than just cannon, because it turns out you need to shoot things out of the cannon. If there's any like ammunition or shot in the wagon itself.
Okay. Give me a investigation roll.
That's going to end badly. I'm not good at that. Yep. It's a 2. Wow. It's really hidden.
Yeah, well, you can kind of walk your way back up the trail from where it came, and you do find evidence of powder that's been spilled, but that's all you find.
Great. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for, and he sort of points at like the powder on the ground. Something more like this, but preferably less on the ground and more in something.
Oh, let me look around.
Yeah, I feel like Gold might know where to get powder, possibly.
At that point, Simon's gonna like step out into the pod and be like, "Can you bring the wagon up? We're gonna have to carry these out. This other wagon's not so great."
And Gold's definitely gonna just marvel at these cannons.
We've got.
I mean, you're looking for this over here,
and Rook is making a face of like intent searching.
Luca is going to grab the reins from the horses and just kind of walk them up.
There's several bags of that powder right here.
What you find actually, Rook, is not powder, but you do find a shoulder bag that's closed. That looks like somebody like tossed it out of the wagon into the forest about where that powder was. And do you pick it up and do anything with it?
Yeah, he picks it up and holds it up in the air, saying that it's powder to Samo.
Okay, so you see that.
I found it.
I'm going to walk over and take the bag from him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Rook, you're definitely much stronger than I am. Could you help us get these cannons off the axles and onto the cart?
Is the cart broken?
This wagon? Yeah, it is. Some of the wheels are out. We're going to have to take it back on the other cart.
How inconvenient.
I think he just starts, like, crushing this cart, right? He's just like, if the axles are broken, he's just going to start kicking the cart apart with different parts of his body until the axles are free.
Oh, Rook, no, be careful, be careful.
Be careful of what it is wooden. I got it.
The axles. Oh, please. If the rifling is off just by a millimeter when we shoot this thing, it'll blow up in our face.
I don't even have Sama's rifle.
Just smash more gently.
That's not how,
please.
That's not how smashing works. You can't gentle smash. You can gentle smash. I can't gentle smash.
Okay. Guys,
Luke is
fellas,
a big hit with the ladies.
Hold on. Goal, why don't you take it apart so you can remove the axle, and then Rook can carry it if we're so worried about it. Rook, knock it off.
I like that idea. So Goal's gonna, start carefully disassembling the axle from the, whatever's left of the wheel, and get it all looking right.
John, why do I feel like you and I always get cast as characters that had to be the voice of reason in this shit? Like
because like
always.
Because that's what I'm.
Why do I get the feeling like that we're the parent friends? So here it is.
Because I'm casting you to babysit me in my own
mom
channel.
friend.
I mean, dad friend. So like, yeah, cool.
Yes.
Go. Let's do it.
Yeah, so you managed to get the wagon apart. There's some scrapes on the outside of the barrels, but you can't tell if they were there before or after Rook's assistance with disassembling. So that's where that's at.
I'm going to look inside the bag that Rook was waving about.
Okay.
And on the off chance that I need to worry about it exploding.
Yeah.
Right.
Waving it about carelessly, this bag he assumed was full of explosives.
Yeah. So there is a inside the bag, there is a pouch that's just a little bit smaller that has two large metal spheres in it, and a book. If you quickly flip through the book, you see that it has complete plans for building the cannon. It has complete plans for mixing the powder, complete plans for the size and dimension of the cannon balls, which two of them are here to give you an example. And it's okay. Everything you need, plus some blood that's been spilled in and stained the papers.
Okay. So, well, I'm going to take that.
That's an important find.
That's really good. Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to take that. And then I'm going to help Goal. I mean, so I probably don't have as much familiarity with wagon mechanics, but I probably know enough about Lishone technology to recognize the front end shooty of a gun when I see it. So I'm going to help Goal disassemble and sort of check the cannons to make sure that they haven't been rooked.
Okay. Yeah, you look at them. And you feel, as best as your knowledge will allow, that they're in firing order. They just need all the mechanisms built, which you can do from these plans and common materials back in town.
Cool. So let's get these on the cart, and we need to get back to town several hours ago, actually.
Right. Okay. So after disassembling the cart, dealing with the beast, finding the things and all of that, It's been about another hour. It is fully not light yet, but not dark, so fully dawn, I guess, pre-dawn. And Johnny's stirring a little bit in the wagon. And you guys are doing what?
Luca is
muted.
So
Luca
Johnny wakes up and there's just like cannon parts, and Rook is just sitting in the wagon, just staring at him.
That sounds about right. Yep.
You're still alive.
They haven't let me kill you yet, so congratulations on that.
What's stuck in your blade? There's like red fur.
Yeah, no, it's red fur from the monster I killed with my blade.
Oh, Lord. Please don't.
Went through his body pretty clean. I was going to wake you up to show you the final blow, but Sama said they didn't have to because I was just going to kill you later anyway, so they figured you'd better die on a well-rested brain or something. I don't know.
He starts sobbing.
I don't understand why you're crying.
I don't want to die.
Well, you know, sometimes you have magic and that makes you a bad guy, and then you kill people, like that one time you killed that guy, and so it just sort of goes
he
on
was
from
coming
there.
after me. He was going to hurt.
That's kind of how it starts, and then you start lighting people on fire all the time. I'm just telling him the truth about life.
We have had this conversation. You need to learn when to stop after a certain point. You always get to a point where you talk about the dying and everything like that, and that's where you lose people. That's where you need to learn to stop.
But everyone's gonna lose him because I'm going to kill him.
I like it when you talk about dying, Rook.
Thank you. It's a very vital part of living. Everyone does it like poop.
Everyone, so you guys are all
The way your mind works is fascinating.
I think Sama has, I don't know if this is a possibility, but I'm going to say I'm doing it out of spite. Sama has opted to meditatively be somewhere else for the next entire trip back to town.
He's just whistling a down-home country tune.
Yeah, like it's just semi-consciously strapped to the horse, just peacefully not here.
Yeah, completely avoiding all acknowledgement of your surroundings.
Yep.
All right. So as you guys get back to the main road, you actually see a number of people riding in on donkeys and stuff towards the quarry to work. You pass a few even on the trail, but they're just coming from a different part of the wood or area. I assume that you do put some extra clothes or just have your bags over the cannon barrels just to make them a little less conspicuous. You can't completely hide them, but
if we so Rook, do you still have bits of fucking wolf stuck to your scythe? Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
By the time okay, cool. So what about the time we get back to town, Sama sort of like, I guess, wakes up theoretically, technically. Remembers that he should probably be here.
Yeah.
And because it's like several hours to get back, right?
Right, yeah. So it's going to be like a little after noon.
Okay. So
and that's with you guys moving at a good clip. I assume that's your.
So that took us
goal.
like what, 4 hours? Like 4 or 5 hours to get back, give or take?
Yeah, 5 hours.
Bless. So Sama is completely awake because elves are bullshit. And is like, well, so Rook, you still have bits of whatever the hell that was all over your scythe, yeah?
The weird dog thing, yeah.
Yeah. How hard do you think it's going to be to convince the father that poor Johnny got eaten by a wolf when he ran off into the woods alone?
I mean, pretty hard, because, like, a wolf doesn't eat your bones or, like, your head, so there would be parts to find if we found him.
Or we could say we did, and we could say we found, like a child-sized amount of blood in the woods, and we were going to track it, but you wanted to come here and be angry at everybody, so we figured we'd come back and tell you so you had an idea of what was going on.
Okay, so, like, you know how that I, often find blood thralls and track them down and kill them?
Uh-huh.
It's not, like reading footprints. I can sense them when they're alive and near me, and then I kill them. So,
Okay.
if I can do it, and I'm pretty great at it so far, they can probably do it as well and know that we're
Gotcha.
lying. We could convince
What's-
the town, but they're just dumb. They're just town people.
What's your range?
Like acting range, pretty bad.
No, like your sensory range on sensing blood thralls.
Oh, it's okay. Like maybe like from here to like
There. And he points like, you know, a good 100 or so feet away.
it's like a close deal, but I don't do magics like they do. So, or else I have to kill myself, and that's a bad plan. I can't kill other people if I'm dead. So.
All right. Well, looks like we're gonna have to set up some cannons.
Yes. Wait. And then what? But when
And he glances at Johnny again, and then looks back to Sam.
when do
And he points at the kid.
Rook, do you want to kill a small child, or do you want to sink a cannonball into that face that doesn't have a face?
I don't understand why I have to choose.
Because one of them will have to come before the other, and the other one is a last resort.
I mean,
All right.
you,
Go ahead, Goal. Sorry.
Brooke, I mean, killing such a small creature is kind of beneath you, isn't it? I mean, yeah, that guy, but I mean, why don't we take care of it? You've done all the heavy lifting so far.
Wait, why don't we just give him to the old man? That guy seems to know magic.
Sama, this is the only way we're getting out of it. If we don't pretend like we killed him, he's gonna definitely kill this guy.
I can hear you. You're right next to me.
What are you talking about? No, I'm saying we're gonna definitely take care of this kid. I just think it's beyond you.
All right, well, why don't we give him to the old man for safekeeping so that he doesn't get shot accidentally so Rook can kill him?
You need to be more specific about which old man you're talking about.
How about you let me talk
There
to
are many old men.
Wait,
Sorry.
no.
The beggar, the one with the healing, the magic.
Oh, the one that actually knows how to do the same
Yeah,
thing.
the magic one. That
Gotcha.
one.
Oh yeah, that way you can
Well-
teach him more magic.
Hold up. One moment. That was what I suggested from the beginning, was that we take him back to town and have him hidden in secret. And then everyone was like, no, we need to keep him in an
Well, we've already brought him here because apparently nobody was listening when I said we should have him in the woods, and I'm sorry that I was fucking asleep at the time.
So I was waiting to bring that up. So the kid like looks at Rook as you guys are getting pretty close to the outskirts of town, and then he questions his own thoughts, and then he turns to Goal and like kind of tries to reach and pull on his shirt a little bit. Aren't we gonna stash me out in the woods somewhere?
Sama's just like has realized he has woken up approximately 15 minutes later than he would have liked to, and is like, "Fuck! All right, look, I'm gonna take a horse. We're gonna park this noise. I'm gonna take a horse. I'm gonna take the kid back into the woods. Somebody go in, try to make sure that gaping mouth guy isn't in the fucking town." And then if he isn't, find the old man and bring him over there so we can put somebody who knows what the fuck they're dealing with magic, whose only option isn't kill somebody, next to the small child.
So here's what I propose. You go take child into the woods.
Yes, I'm doing that.
Yes. All right. We've established that. Rook and Goal, are you all right with staying with the cart and the materials and cannons and things like that while I go into the town to kind of do a sweep really quickly?
I was staying with the cannons, yes.
Wait, did anyone talk to the child about his magic, or did you just put him in the cart?
No, we talked to him about magic.
You did? What did you talk to him about?
Talking to him? Sorry. What did you talking to him about?
What did you talking to him about?
We talked about the fact that he lit a man on fire and doesn't seem to be a blood thrall yet. Did you have a specific topic in mind?
Yes, little boy, Johnny.
You said yet.
What?
As far as I'm aware,
yeah.
Goal, anybody can become a blood thrall if they use magic hard enough. There's just most people aren't. I don't know if that's correct, but I'm assuming, from what Rook keeps saying, everyone who uses magic becomes blood thralls eventually, so we just told him not to use fucking magic again.
That's mostly true.
Why the fuck did I just self-censor myself?
Little
What?
boy,
Anyway.
Johnny, when you used the magic, what happened to your body?
Yes, do you remember how you felt right before everything went boom?
No, I don't care about that. What happened to
don't,
your
but
body
I do.
afterwards? Did you bleed from your eyes or your nose or your ears or anywhere else? Did everything hurt really, really badly? Or did you feel really good about it?
I felt everything hurt. It still hurts. I'm starving.
Yeah, Rook, he said it was hurt and then he felt like a hot potato. I don't know what scientific conclusion you can draw from that, but it's clearly more than mine. Do I have to worry about this now, or can I bring him into the woods?
Right.
Wait,
and and now that you're in the light, you can see his skin is all like dried and cracked, like he's had a sunburn that is really bad, and he's not hot like he was, like supernaturally hot.
Rook isn't gentle about it, but he pokes him in the blistery arm.
Is this everywhere on your whole body?
Yes, please. Oh, your claws.
Everything hurts all the time right now.
Yes.
Are you very tired?
Yes.
Ugh. And Rook hops out of the back of the thing.
I don't have to kill him.
And he looks disappointed about it.
Say what?
This is hilarious.
I don't have to kill him. He's not a blood thrall.
And Sama rubs his eyes in a non-verbal gesture that says, if we could have this conversation 24 fucking hours ago.
Well, you left me in the cart because I was too scary.
And he shoots a look over at Luca.
Why did you fucking...
He's fine. He just is like the old man. He just dies every time he uses magic a little bit. So
Also, since when do you listen so inherently to me? Don't get mad at me because you decided to stay in the cart just because I said that's what you should do.
Johnny, let's go. And Sama gets off unlatches the horse from the cart, picks up the small child, puts him on the horse, and just fucks off to the woods.
You can just bring him in the village. It's fine. Okay. You gave me the look.
Yeah.
And he looks at Cora.
I always give you a look. What is new about that?
It was like the look. This isn't the time, Rook. Look.
She's all of the time with you.
It's the Rook look.
Fine.
Yes.
Rook's look. Rook's look. Rook's look.
Yeah. Little Luca has the Rook look.
No. Oy.
With that, as soon as Sama heads off with Johnny, Luca is going to start heading into the town to do a sweep to see if the blood priests are there at all. And if not, she is going to go and find the blind beggar whose name escapes me right now.
Roder.
Thank you.
Rodur, yeah.
Rodur. And see if she can take him out to the woods to meet up with Sama and Johnny.
Okay. So you do head off. There is a kind of a farmstead right here. So I'm assuming that you guys sorry, my brain just quit. Sama and Johnny are out past this orchard a bit, so somewhere further northeast. But as you're coming into town, there's actually a local guard or someone kind of in a poor army or soldier's gear kind of is running towards the cart. Is Luca going to go ahead and head past him, kind of avoid this interaction, or all three of you got to talk to this guy because he's coming towards the cart?
Luca is definitely going to stay and be part of the conversation. She does not want to leave Goal and Rook to talk. It is not their strong suit. Don't even try.
Hey.
Significantly better than Rook, to be fair.
This is true.
Hey,
but Goal seems to be a little more focused on the cannons right now.
Goal's wearing scale mail. He's got a very strong suit.
Get fucking out of
Give
here.
me strength.
As he gets closer, you see this man's a little bit too old to be a proper soldier, but he's kind of jogging towards you. Hey,
Hello.
you guys got back pretty quick. I forgot who. Laclede. Oliver's been having me scout around to see if you guys showed up. Keep an eye on the area. Make sure the priest guy don't come back. But you guys got back quick. Did you get the stuff? Where's and everything?
You're old.
Yeah, and you're dark.
We have everything that we said we were going to set out and get. We'll disclose that information further at a later point in time.
Well, Oliver's wanting to see you, so let's go. Where's the other one with the big long boomstick?
He's
Oh,
in the woods.
Selma is out in the woods currently now doing some scouting. I was actually asked to. I have a few questions for you before we go back into town. The blood priests, have they returned to the town at all yet?
No, they didn't come back, but Maria did. And she got a message from them. So we've got something to I'm sure you're going to want to know.
Maria is who?
Well, she's Arthur's wife. The boy, the Johnny they're looking for. They were watching after him. They watch after all of the homeless kids.
Right.
She's all tore up and stuff, but she's freed. They said.
They let her go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's as craziest darn story I ever did her.
All right. We'll be happy to join with you. And Luca is going to, just a moment. Luca is going to turn back to Gull and Rook and basically say, well, someone needs to stay here with the cart. Someone else should come with me into town. I can go and scout if someone else will go with him to talk to this Maria and see. Rook, I think that it would be best for you to stay with the cart. Only because of the fact that you are very intimidating and clearly you can handle yourself well with the creatures that are out in the woods from what happened back there earlier.
Yes.
So I think it would be best for you to stay with the cart and make sure that no one comes to take anything. Right. And then Goal, you can come with me into town and go and talk to Maria while I go and look for our blind beggar friend.
Yes, that sounds like a plan. Rook, please don't hurt the stuff. Don't break it. It's very valuable.
What am I going to do? Bang it together like drums?
I would not put that past you, my friend.
You're right. They did make a good sound when I kicked them.
Can I look?
No.
He's like looking in the back of the cart and kind of even moving somebody's sack.
Get out of my cart.
What? You are not very polite.
I will.
No, my mama would have spanked your rear end.
I will eat your mother and your face.
What? Now,
let's go see Maria.
All right. Yeah, let's get on. Yeah, I mean, for some reason, I'll trust you fellas. He does take a sip from his flask.
It's because you don't have any other choice, because everyone here is better fighter than you.
Maybe. I'm not planning to do any fighting, really.
No, I mean, if you don't trust us, we just do it anyway, because you can't stop us.
Anyway, so I've got to go. We need to go in. So.
Yes, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
He has a very dry delivery. I swear he's super funny. That
one I would call comedy.
Luca is just anticipating the 20 minutes from now when just off in the distance in the woods, we just hear. Just waiting for it.
Something to shoot.
Just fucking waiting for it.
All right, so you guys get back into town. come in past some of these little shops and houses and take the little path that comes up behind the small stable that's next to the boar's tusk. And so you're downtown. The statue of Lorelei, which I don't know if you ever saw the name of the statue, but it's still knocked over. The arm's still broken off. The people that are you would expect to be kind of roaming around doing busy work at this time, it's a little quieter than normal. People are just a little on edge. Do you guys go into the boar's tusk? Do you go somewhere else? Did I make an assumption I shouldn't have? Sorry.
Oh no, Luca is definitely going to go into the boar's tusk to get deer.
Okay.
And once she, well, I guess we can just leave it at that and then go from there with whatever he's.
Yeah, I was going to talk to whoever, Maria.
Yeah. So we kind of.
Yeah.
Diverge.
Well, okay, yeah. So.
Unless Maria.
Harl, this guy actually is leading you to the boar's tusk too. So I mean, that's where Maria is. So yeah. I explained that super dumb. Okay, so you guys
Totally
get there. Walk in the front. There's not as many people dining as there even was the evening before, but you see a woman who's upper middle aged with long dark hair, but it has like gray streaks and it's actually really pretty. Kind of at the bar talking to Henry and Margaret and Oliver. And they're all just kind of talking, that sort of conspiratorial, like comforting, like, oh, I don't, things, hard stuff happened and we're here to support you, that kind of mood. You can see her shirt from the back has got two really dramatic stripes of blood just running down her back. If she was an angel, it was as if her wings got ripped off, but she, as far as you know, didn't have wings. So she's there at the bar, kind of crying. As you guys walk in, Oliver perks his head up. Oh, bloody great! You've got back already. Oh, this is good. Were you able to find the things?
Yes, we were able to, but we'll handle that momentarily. We were told that we should talk to Maria, that she might have.
Yeah. I brought him here to talk to Maria, like you said, Oliver. And he says that's good, Harl. You go on back out. Keep an eye out. Keep patrol. But yes, please come talk. We have some interesting developments.
So Luca is going to kind of just walk towards the table, but keep going past it and kind of just like shoot a glance at Goal with just a glance of being like, you handle this, I'm going to go handle that, and go from there. And Luca is going to head to go find
Produr.
Thank you. Yeah. I will never get it. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I mean, you knew where his room was. That they had set him up in a small room upstairs that was sort of a spare room, overflow room.
I will say that Luca's intention is to go to the room, find her there, and explain what has happened out in the woods with Johnny, and that she would like for him to come with her back out to the woods to meet up with Sama and Johnny and be able to talk a little bit more to maybe help with him.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We will have to role play that.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, you'll know why when we do it. But let's start with then Goal down there in the common room at the bar with the others. Anyway, where's everyone else? The big Scorth and your friend with the gun, Sama. Where is everyone?
They're just taking a rest after our journey. Really.
Yeah, I mean, have you been up all night then?
For the most part, yes.
Oh my!
I mean, I might have fallen asleep on Cassie a couple times, but we're all good.
Very good, very good. Okay, well, I'm so relieved that you're here, and so I guess we have more time with the the child situation. You see, Father released Maria. He was holding her captive, I guess, as kind of a ransom. We didn't know exactly the details of where she ended up, but once I and Arthur went back to their estate, we found that she wasn't there. And anyway, you can imagine the turmoil. But they were holding her, and I guess doing some rather cruel things. But right around midnight, well, I'll let you tell it, dear. And she takes a deep breath and takes a shot of brandy. I thought they were going to kill me. I was chained to these hooks, and they had released it like a starving dog, and it was pulling against the rope. And if I pulled against it, it pulled the chains that were flesh caught in my flesh, and it was like we were in this tug of war. But then all of a sudden, the father came in, and he said that Dem spoke to him and said that the second prophecy had begun and that he should be patient. And then he released me without another word.
Did he explain what the second prophecy was? I mean, any hints on that area? Now, for the most part,
well, I mean, there's there's suspicion of what he referred to. This is Arthur. I mean, not Arthur. Oliver, and Henry perks up. Yeah, most of us believe in the prophecy. There's the three parts. The first one is that the Sun Speaker will bring the fertile to ground to life. The second one is that then the fire will burn it out. And then the third one is that the man with the stone will resolve the end of the age. We're not sure what all of it means. There's lots of different parts, but that's kind of the summary. There's the Sun Speaker, the Fire Speaker, and then the man with the stone hands. So,
well, it's just vague enough to be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you could talk to Alina. She's over at the Light Temple. I mean, we don't call it that around the Blood Thralls because they're illegal now. But anyway,
of course, yeah. So,
so maybe that's what he was talking about. And if he thinks the second prophecy started, that means there's going to be a lot of war coming. That's what most people think.
Yeah, or fire. It might be actual fire. I hope it's more fire than war, really.
Oliver's like, we just want to survive. I don't know if we want any of these prophecies, really.
No, that's probably not for the best. Where is the Light Temple? Just right up the road?
Yeah, just across the way. You're not from here, but some people believe that Lorelei was the Sun Speaker that they spoke about in the prophecy.
Oh.
The statue, the little girl in the statue.
Yeah. And they came and she's fallen, so now the fire. Okay, yeah. Oh, we are well into step 2, aren't we? So I guess we'll just kind of boogie on down. Now, the guy with the face thing, he hasn't been back, right? Looking for old kid.
Yeah, no. Just Maria. She came back and she said that the father and Brother Dane were going to give us more time to find the boy. He said I guess, just trusts us to bring him when we find him, which surely he knows we won't. But that's aside the point, right?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't mention anything about a child. That can shoot fire. That's internal monologue. Yeah,
no details. Just he wants him for. I mean, one can assume if they're after him that hard, he must have some abilities or something.
Yeah, Goal and Kindle alike are going to make the connection in their brain that fire is the second step, and this kid, obviously Hadouken some dude, and he's hot and he's fire.
Yeah.
He's the second step. Okay, so cool. Okay, all right. And what did you say that third step of the prophecy was after fire? Fire.
A man who has stone in his hands. It's kind of weird because there's and Henry, you know what it is, and Henry, yeah. So it isn't like a man made of stone, right? It's like a man with stone in his hands, like I don't even know what it means, but you run out and on a street and you fall and you get gravel stuck in your skin or something. I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. And somehow he's supposed to eliminate the whole blood situation. That's the prophecy now. Now, of course, they believe he's going to usher in an age of only blood thralls and eliminate us normal folk.
All right, that sounds horrible. With all this new information, let me go talk with my friends. Maybe we'll visit the Light Temple and see if we can't sort this out. Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just glad you're back, and Oliver agrees, and everybody's glad, and Margaret's still kind of trying to bandage up or pat the seeping blood out of the back of Maria, and Luca upstairs. You get to this door. No answer.
I try the door.
It is not locked.
Okay.
It opens.
I open it slightly and just kind of call in. Hello, it's Luca from before. We spoke earlier. I'm not sure if you remember me, but I wanted to know if we could talk.
You see a small bed. It can hardly be called a bed. Again, this room wasn't really intended to be premium guest quarters. The man is laying in the bed that you recognize, but as you poke your head through the door, he raises up like cardboard, and he looks right at you. Even with the bandages over his eyes, his face locks on yours as if he's looking at you.
Hello again. Are you feeling all right? I can come back. Well, I would come back later, but there's sort of a pressing matter that's going on. So I was wondering if I could talk to you and we could go somewhere together.
Have you made a way to Bishonia yet? We must get to Bishonia.
Why?
He falls back down into the bed and stops moving. He's breathing.
Oh.
He doesn't die. He snorts. He snorts a little bit like he's snoring.
So he's not conscious.
No.
Okay. Luca is going to proceed into the room and go up and just kind of, as far back as she can, just kind of tap him and then lean back a little bit.
He stirs and hello, is anybody here?
It's me, Luca. We
yes, dear.
Earlier.
I don't know when the last time I slept in a bed was. And he kind of swings his legs off and fumbles around as a blind man would. I can hear you. You seem close. Is everything okay?
Luca just kind of goes up towards him and presents her forearm for him to kind of grasp onto if he needs to.
He does. I need something to eat. It's been. That really took something out of me last night, and I must have slept hours. It feels warm. It's late in the day, isn't it?
It's getting to be around. It's early.
Early afternoon.
That was the early afternoon. Yeah, it's earlier in the afternoon. So you've been asleep for a while. since I last saw you, but I know that you're very hungry, but we have the boy that they were looking for. We have him out in the woods, and I wanted to know if you would be able to come with me and speak with him, because he seems to possess the same gift that you do. Or not exactly the same that you do, but similar abilities, maybe? And
he can mend bodies.
well, well, not really mend bodies, actually, the polar opposite of mending bodies. But
you just mean he's a speaker. He can talk to the energies. Right.
It would seem so. It does not seem as though one of my compatriots has indicated that he doesn't seem to be a blood thrall. So if that's the case, then yes, I would assume that he must be a speaker, but he seems to be very new with his ability to tap into the energies. And I was wondering if, since you seem to have a better grasp with yours, if you would be willing to speak to him.
I'm very old. I've been with it a while. So sure, I could talk to him.
Wonderful. If you'll come with me, I will actually ask if I can grab something for you to eat that we can bring with us, so that you can eat as we travel. And that way that you'll hopefully have your strength back by the time we reach my compatriot and the boy where we have them.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds good. I wondered, are you trying to get to Bishonia? I think the girl I'm looking for might be there now. I need to go there.
You actually mentioned that in your sleep. I don't know how.
No. I surely.
No, I'm very sure that you did. You mentioned just a moment ago when you were asleep that you needed to go to Bishonia, or that we needed to go to Bishonia, and we needed to find the path there. And you never mentioned a little girl in Bishonia before. What's in Bishonia?
I just feel yesterday, and I don't know if you remember, but he did say he was separated from a girl that he thought was moving south. And now he's saying she's moving north. So I just got the feeling there's something about going to Bishonia. No, don't mind me, though. I don't want to impose. I'll just get me some food. I'm very weak.
Let's get you some food. And you're not imposing at all. And if we can help you, then we will. But I have to confirm with the rest of my compatriots first. But let's get you some food and get you out to meet up with Sama and this young boy, Johnny, and we'll go from there.
Very good. All right. So you guys come down. I'm going to say that took about the same amount of time as Goal's conversation. Feels about right. And you're dancing, which is fun. So yeah, Goal, you see them come down.
My screensaver mode, don't mind me.
No, it's fantastic. So what's next?
So once we get downstairs, Luca is going to walk over with Broder to Goal and just be like, one of my compatriots is here. If you'll just wait with him for a moment while I go and obtain some food. And then we can all be on our way back out to meet with our friends, and we can go from there.
Okay. So there's nothing that hinders that unless you have any side missions, or I guess if Goal wants to go talk to Alina. So there's that. But otherwise, we'll jump back into...
I feel like that's going to be a more than just me thing.
Okay. So you guys get back out to the cart with Rook, or the wagon, or the cart. Yeah, the cart with Rook, everybody but Sama and the boy. And you guys then go to meet with Sama and the boy from there? Okay.
Yeah.
Piece of cake. So yeah, you've got a nice little alcove somewhere, kind of in a little ravine where some water has made a ditch into the ground, so you can dig a little hut out for him or something like that. Fairly easy.
I think at this point, Sama is teaching Johnny how to make a fire that isn't obnoxiously obvious to everyone who's looking for you.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's like teaching how to make like a covered fire at this point.
Right. Yep. Okay. So as you're teaching, you hear the rest of your group kind of stumbling around in the woods looking for you. They had a general idea where you were, but you're camouflagey.
So what? So we bring out the man, Brodor. That's your name, right? I don't. It's okay. So we bring him out to teach the boy how to control his magics without killing other people and without dying for some time.
Or at the very least, to talk to him so that he can feel like he's not quite so alone. And then, yes, hopefully, maybe be willing to mentor him at the very least, so that he learns to control the power that he has, and he doesn't have to be killed.
That's fair. I don't have to kill him if he doesn't become a blood thrall. And so far, what about, speaking of the blood thralls that are in town, when do I get to kill them?
Well, as far as I know, they're not in town right now. They haven't shown back up yet.
But they're going to, right? So then we have to kill them.
Eventually they will, but we have to decide whether or not we're staying around long enough to deal with that.
Oh, I thought
Is Goal going to explain what he knows that no one else knows?
Yeah. I was waiting for an in there. I was going to be like, hey, Brooke, you mentioned the prophecies, right?
I've said they exist sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, and the prophecy for this area, right? You know about the 3-part prophecy here, maybe?
No.
Just spitballing?
I don't
know
about
Yeah, so, well...
How did you know about it?
The lady who was dangled by hooks and tortured told me about it.
Oh, there was a tortured lady. Okay.
Yeah. Maria. Who I went to talk to. Nice lady. Big holes in her back.
That makes sense. There are blood thralls around.
Yeah. They let her go because apparently the second stage of a 3-part prophecy is on its way, and it has to do with a fire bringer.
Oh, and he looks over at Johnny.
Fire.
What is the rest of the prophecy though? What is the whole thing?
Well, the third part is something about a stone hand man.
Okay.
I don't know. It was pretty unclear if the hand was made of stone or if there was pieces of asphalt in his hand. I don't know. But apparently this man is coming to either drown the world in blood thralls or save the world from blood thralls. So it's kind of up in the air on which way it teeter-totters at this point.
What was part 1 and 2?
Part 2 was that the firebringer would come and get rid of everything that happened in part 1, which is everything was lush and there was light.
When did part 1 happen?
Timeline's a little hazy, but I'm assuming since we're already on our way to step 2, it might have happened before we got here.
Oh,
I think we stumbled in straight on into a prophecy.
Okay.
as is wont to happen a lot.
Okay, I understand. Brodor, I need you to go over there and do I don't know, parenting. And he opens the cart and sort of points Brodor in a direction. Just walk straight until you hear child. Sama, I need you to stop cooking.
He's blind, Rook.
So walk until he hits a child. It's pretty simple.
Oh my
Go
God.
straight forward. Listen, team
Only
meeting.
you would refer to it as walk until you hit a child.
Yes, you're going to bump into it eventually unless the child moves out of the way and then you'll hit the tree. We're in the forest. You can't go very far. Anyway, I need a team meeting. Group conversation. Sama, quit cooking. I need you over here.
Sama's like, I'm not, all right. And then sort of like, kind of clambers up the ravine.
He only sees you with a fire and assumes you could only be cooking on it. There's no other need for that.
There was no other option
Yeah.
when there was a fire in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna like sort of dust his hand off his gun. I was like, all right, well, sounds like you learned something.
Okay, so they're far enough away. I have bad news, and bad news. Thank you, Gull, for bringing it all to me. It's kind of bad news, good news, actually. Bad news
I mean, to be
is-
fair, it was only news when I brought it to you.
Yes, and then I had other information which made it bad news, good news. Bad news, I think I have to kill the kid. Good news, I think I have to kill the kid.
And Sama just blinks and says, I'm sorry, without any context. That didn't make any sense.
Great.
Could you provide
Yes.
more, please?
How is it both good news and bad news to
It's
kill the
bad news
child?
because neither of you are going to like it, but it's good news because I was right and I get to do the thing I said that I was planning on doing that you stopped me from. Anyway, go.
God, I hate you.
He told me about the prophecy of the area, and you were here, Luca, you heard it just now, a second ago. Sama, here's a quick recap. There's a phase 3s of prophecies. 1 already happened, 2 involves fire, and 3 involves rocks and blood thralls. But, prophecies, they're unclear sometimes, and part 3, you said, was bring all the blood thralls or kill all the blood thralls, I think is what you said.
Yeah, it was hazy. I think the people are hoping for the best, that they will come and free them of this curse that is the blood thralls. And the blood thralls, on the other hand, think that this person is going to come to everybody, and everybody's going to be blood thralls. So,
Okay. Well, I have exclusive knowledge here, and I would like everyone to not dig too deeply into how I know this, but a voice in my head told me that the fire speaker, is going to herald my return. Not the person in my head. I promise you that the person in my head voice is not going to be killing all the blood thralls. It's probably the other one. So, that's
Luca-
bad news.
Luca, not subtly, like the moment the rook says the person in my head just is like, go on.
That's it. I heard an ominous voice in my head the moment we found the child, and it said the fire speaker will herald my return. It wasn't relevant at the time. Sometimes you get voices in your head, and that's fine. But now that there's a prophecy, it's very relevant.
Oh, I love Rook's optimism.
Sama is just like, I would like a second, third, fourth, and potentially fifth opinion.
well, they mentioned the lady at the Light Temple, which apparently we can't really say out loud. But I think her
Is
name
it
was
because they don't call that around blood thralls, Goal?
I think that's the deal, and you never know who's listening. Just keep it with the customs. Just keep it with the customs.
Yep.
It's good to do that. Even the walls have ears. It's good to
We are going to the shiny house. Yeah.
For the record, I don't think you can get a second or third opinion. I think the people that heard the voice in their head, if there's more of them, are very, very, very specific and don't want to answer you.
Well, so
Just-
was there any more information that you got from this voice as to who this fire starter is?
Nope, it just said the fire speaker, which is what he is. He's a speaker. Like the old man, I told you yesterday about the old man, why his eyes were bleeding. He's a life speaker. And so, that's why they want him.
So he has the ability to teeter this prophecy in either the good or the bad. So
No, I don't. I think that the people are hoping that the rock hand guy is the good or bad one. But I think that the fire starter, he just brings in the rock hand guy. And I'm pretty sure if I'm hearing voices, the rock hand guy's not
And
great.
Sama looks at Rook a little confused and goes, Rook, I thought you'd have been happy
About which part?
about the prophecy.
That I get to kill the kid? Or which part
No.
am I happy about?
Well, excuse me if I'm being a little foolish, but according to you, right, this prophecy goes along the way, and then so there's I don't know what the sun speaker, the first one, right? And then there's a fire speaker.
Yeah.
And then there's the stone hand man.
Right.
And then you think that the person who shows up at the end is bad news,
right.
And everyone in the town hopes it's someone with good news,
correct.
Right?
Yes.
Well, if you're right, and the person who shows up is bad news, I thought you would have jumped at the chance to kill him.
It's not so much about the killing of the Rock Hand Man, and the fact that, what was it? That he heralds the return of all of the blood thralls forever.
I mean, that's a little more ominous. But,
that sounds like work for you that you enjoy, but I understand your point.
I mean, I'm trying to kill them all, so if he just keeps making more of them all the time, it's a lot of work for one man, you know.
That's fair.
I get tired.
All right, well, why don't we talk to the person at the Shine House, because maybe they'll have a strictly better and less optimistic view of this prophecy than most of the normal townsfolk.
And in the meantime, are we leaving him here? And Luca just kind of nods to Brodair and Johnny.
Actually, hold up. And Psalms returns and goes, Brodair! Yeah, do you know anything about a 3-part prophecy?
What's that? A prophecy? I mean,
something about sun and fire and stone hands.
I don't know the stone hands. A lot of people believe that the young girl in the group Trinity is a prophetess. I mean,
the who? What now?
Trinity. I mean, the three that go around like you guys. They're kind of they protect people from blood thralls. Lorelei and Serenity and Lan, I believe, they're fairly famous, and you guys don't know about them just because this is your first time in this world. Sorry.
Fair. All right, well, okay. So they think that she's the first part. Rook here seems to think that the boy is the second part, which leaves the Stonehand man, whom we know nothing about.
Yeah, I don't take much for the prophecies, but I do know that some people have put a lot of hope in Trinity, that they do believe that they are a sign of hope and that the future won't all be bad.
Well, why don't we go talk to the Shine House and see what we can learn about this prophecy, because nobody seems to know a goddamn thing.
You've talked to 2 people.
Nobody seems to know a goddamn thing. I know what I said.
Stand by it.
It happens when you're out amongst country folk. They're not necessarily as well informed as.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily blame them for knowing things about prophecies, but it seems like we should go talk to the person who does next time, right? As it's 9:57 p.m. Holy crap!
Yeah, time has flown by.
Wow.
Oh, so am I here to hear me?
Oh God.
Yeah, sorry. My speakers were just run out of battery, I guess.
Gotcha.
Oh, you guys head back into town. Brodur and the boy seem to be managing.
Cool.
And you go to the house across the square from the Boar's Tusk that some people, the locals, call Light's home. It is a home, but they've taken like the living room and kind of turned it into a sitting area where you can meet and talk about the creation story and things like that you read from the origin of the world stuff. And so as you walk in, the door is unlocked, actually just standing open. There's a woman in there, and you recognize her from the night before. She was the one who tended to Arthur, the broken arm guy. And she's, oh, come in. Have you do you believe that things are turning around a bit? I hope so. If you've come to me, hopefully you're here to help.
We actually have some questions for you.
Oh, well, of course. I'm always happy to talk about the truth.
And Luca's gonna just kind of like look over her shoulders at like Goal and Brooke and kind of be like,
Oh,
kind of gesturing to them to go and
Right.
talk about what they know.
yes, this is my turn. Okay, so there's a prophecy, right, about the light guy, and then the fire guy, and then stone hands, right?
Yes, Stonehand Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? No. So, are you talking about the sun speaker, Lorelei?
Sure, there's a sun speaker,
Yes.
and then a fire speaker who's supposed to do some things, and then a man with a stone in his hands that brings about all of the blood thralls forever.
No, that's not at all how it goes. The sun speaker is we believe it was the Lorelei, the young girl who grew up here. That
Okay.
the story goes about 15 years ago. Just like what happened last night, the questioners brought her and her father in. Her father was trying to hide her from them, but she did not get away. When the questioners went to make an example of her father to the rest of the town, as they seemed to do, this little girl just simply raised her hand up, and it was as if the sun itself sent a beam of energy down upon this questioner and the priest, and they were burned to ash. We didn't have blood priest here for 10 years after that. So, and then of course father shows up, and now he's trying to reinstate Landslide's order.
Right.
So at that point, the town was at a relative peace, but her father and Lorelei, they left, fearing that they would attract retribution from Landslide at large. Years pass, and now she's with two other speakers that are seeking to bring about justice in the world. They're doing their best, one blood thrall at a time, trying to heal them or bring them to the light. Of course, that usually means killing them.
Right. Yep. That's the best way to do it. And then what about the fire speaker?
Well, the prophecy goes, as I believe, is that after hope comes, then there will be retribution from darkness. So light, as the creation story goes, created us and the earth, and it was a gift to the darkness, but darkness rejected it. So when hope is growing, then darkness will get jealous and retaliate. And the story goes that he will just burn and destroy as much as he can in order to retaliate.
Right. Okay.
But yes, and then the third part is definitely more vague, but there is supposedly going to be a man or a woman, or who knows, who can be one with creation. And that is the bridge between light and dark, and that somehow allows for the corruption that darkness have led into the world by the creation of the blood thralls to become nullified, and we return to creation's original intent.
Or they turn the world into a world of blood thralls, right?
No, that's impossible. It wouldn't make sense for a bridge to be built between two opposing forces and result in one of them just simply winning. The bridge is to create peace, not to eliminate it. Of course, you guys can tell that there is a degree of her belief influencing the way she's speaking, but it also makes some sense. I mean,
well, and Rook kind of turns the rest of the group and says, well, we got one out of we got the third one. We got the second one, I mean. That's going to be bad times for everyone.
What do you mean you have the second one?
Shush. I'm figuring it out, lady. I don't think...
The one thing that Rook has taken from Luca is learning how to tell people to shush.
I don't think that she's right about the third one. I think what I said is right. But that's just me.
And he like taps his head.
Very smart.
There's really only one way to find out, and it's to see if we can find who this next person is, perhaps, and go from there with that.
Well, I think that the fire speaker has to burn away everything for the stone and hands guy to show up. So if we stop the fire speaker from burning everything, maybe he just doesn't show up.
But do we not want him to show up? That's the real question, because you're saying that he's going to bring about an entire nation of blood thralls.
Right.
But she is saying that it is more about creating a balance between the two. So if you destroy the one link that could bring that around, that might not be a good idea.
I feel like you also missed the part where the fire speaker burns away everything. That sounds pretty bad by itself. Also,
Yeah, I don't want to be burned.
It's
None
not
of us
great.
do.
It hurts a lot. Sometimes I do it.
All right. I just looked at the time, so let's stop right there at the idea of you might have missed the part that the fire speaker was going to burn everything. So yeah, it's just after 9. Good job, guys.
Hell yeah. Man, prophecies and burning away. I like this moral quandary of what is going to happen and the vagity of this third prophecy. But with that, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll save it for the commentary.
Perfect. Let's go around, do our introductions here, and then we'll do our post-show Patreon-only exclusive thing that if you guys want to check out, you can go check out over on Patreon. So we'll start with Cora. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Cora. I'm currently dealing with the existential crisis that is COVID-19 and having to deal with all that. You can find me on Twitter at GlamourBombLive, all capitalized and with a U in there. That's where I do most of my posting about everything. I basically am on there just randomly babbling about nonsense and TTRPG stuff. You can find me on there pretty much all the time, and this is pretty much the only like TTRPG related like project that I have going on right now. So you can find me here every Tuesday with these fine folks doing the thing that we do, that voodoo that only we do. That doesn't rhyme really, but that's okay. So that's where you can find me if you are so inclined, and that's all from me. Thanks.
Perfect. Kendall, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hey, I'm Kendall. That's me. And you can find me at, I guess, KW Frags on Twitter. I don't really twit a whole lot, but I'm there if you want to get at me or whatever. DMs are always open. So, but yeah, no, I'm just doing my thing. Nothing really special.
Fantastic. John, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
So I'm John. I am an existential crisis currently because it's thesis month, and but other than that, you can find me on Twitter at Ryamasa, RY0MASA. I do some tabletop design stuff and some talks about like community and mental health and a lot of stuff that I'm not doing right now because, like I said, thesis is due in 2 weeks. But other than that, I'm here on Tuesdays, 8 to 10 p.m. for Thrall, as you all may have already known. And then I'm also on Thursday nights at 9:30 on Scraticus Academy for New Acadian Nights, which is an Urban Shadows game thing.
Awesome.
So that's where I'm at.
Sweet. And last but not least, Daryl, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Jazz hands. That's what I'm up to.
Okay.
I am Splattered Ink. Daryl T. Jones. I'm an illustrator and game designer. Most of my time is spent working on D&D related illustration. I've also finally, after a year of delay, launched my Patreon. As of today, it has one post where you can download a creature called the Castle Breaker. It's a giant construct golem thing. And it's got stats and art and stuff like that. If you're interested, I am going to give you the link right now because I am going to shamelessly self-promote myself.
Go for it.
I won't give it to you because I misspelled it. So anyway, that's what I'm up to. Check out the Patreon. I'm Splattered Ink everywhere. So Splattered Ink on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and now Patreon. So
Hell yeah.
thank you all very much for being here. Thanks for the donation. Thanks for the audience interaction. You guys were great. I had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah. if you guys want to see more from Daryl, you can see the game he ran on the channel, The Daubers, Quest for the King? Is that what it is? The Silent King. The Silent King.
The Silent King was
is
our,
on YouTube.
our game.
All the art is his. You can see all the art for this is done by Daryl. All the art for the official art for Dark Fortunes, our new podcast, is done by Daryl. And a bunch of the art in the Nerdarchy Out of the Box set. So go check all that fun stuff out. And if you guys haven't checked out the Dark Fortunes podcast, go do that. It's fucking awesome. That being said, we are out of here for this week. We'll see you next week for more Dark Blood Thralls. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.